Today, criminal enterprises are backed by actors with higher levels of education, technology, and global connections. And as a result, they can transform their illegal activities at a moment's notice to avoid detection, apprehension, and prosecution. Now, more than ever, a new generation of criminal justice leaders must take a bold stand with exceptional levels of accountability, transparency, and resilience to combat this emerging trend of hybrid crime. In this tutorial of real criminal justice reform, you will learn about Compstat Analytics, a proven intelligence-based approach to managing organizational cultures, fighting crime with a two-edged sword of hard data and constitutional brevity. I am Charles Rambo, a retired lieutenant with over 30 years of real-world law enforcement expertise, certified as a senior instructor by the Georgia Peace Officers Standards and Training Council. I have taught hundreds of peace officers in constitutional law, criminal procedure, and community policing. In 2009, I trained, directed, and supervised the facilitation of Compstat into the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, which significantly helped to end a federal consent decree over one of the toughest county jails in the United States. Having also been trained by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security as an intelligence analyst, I have implemented intelligence-led policing initiatives of our Compstat program to proactively interdict hybrid-based criminal enterprises. As a result of these accomplishments, I have been honored in an interview and recognition in the issue of Law and Order magazine for implementing Compstat. In addition, I was the keynote speaker before the Atlanta chapter of African Americans in Human Resources, highlighting the benchmark accomplishments of Compstat. In the previous tutorial on real criminal justice reform, we covered the three inspiring competencies of leaders in charge of change. Now, here is how Compstat can provide a foundation for that leadership style and synergy to fight crime in real time with accountability, transparency, and resilience. Compstat is a management system that uses a set of statistics to analyze and respond to crime trends in communities. From administration to patrol to jail operations, Compstat can be structured into any function of the criminal justice system. The late Jack Maple of the New York City Transit Police and later the New York City Police Department. He was dubbed one of the most innovative crime fighters of the 21st century. Using a simple push-pin system, he analyzed emerging trends and developed effective strategies to fight crime with high community praise and involvement. Now used across the globe in law enforcement agencies, Maple's Compstat system earned the prestigious Harvard Kennedy School of Government Award for Innovations in Government. Now, I have no formal education in IT or statistical data, but as an avid follower of Maple's work, eventually I was tapped to research and implement Compstat in the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. It began with one-on-one cold calls with NYPD officials who laid it out plain. You have to be clear about what you want to track and set performance measures on how you're going to achieve the desired result. Now, I admit that I am an alcoholic, addicted to all things keynote pages and numbers. From an old iPad and the test pilot, my countermeasures team and I were engaged in an agency-wide referendum on inspecting what we expected, structuring accountability, transparency, and resilience, but with a focus primarily on county jail operations that were embattled. Come to success with us and imagine that after 24 years of dismal noncompliance, in less than 6 months of training staff and implementation of Compstat on a larger computer frame, the federal monitor reported unprecedented 95% improvement ratings in key compliance, leading eventually to the Fulton County Jail being released from a federal consent decree order. Today, I am a faithful follower of Jack Maple's approach to fighting crime with Compstat in producing unprecedented results. But let me also tell you, because of the higher levels of accountability and transparency, Compstat will either be fully accepted or resisted by the organizational culture. Compstat is not Therefore, for executives, managers, and supervisors who are faint of heart, or for temper tantrum tyrants whose rank outshine their competencies, or for people who shift the blame on others when things don't go as planned. Instead, Compstat is for criminal justice leaders just like you, who are not afraid of being in control of the facts with accountability, transparency, and resilience to combat hybrid crime with unprecedented results. So, yes, right now I can hear you and see you on the other side of the computer screen asking, well, not really, I can't see you. But why should you incorporate Compstat in your agency? Bottom line, because it's up to you as a criminal justice leader to stop tolerating business as usual excuses from the organizational culture of why things are not getting done. From the executive level to the frontline officer, Compstat is now the clear articulation that your agency is fighting crime with analytical precision, constitutional brevity, but most importantly, community involvement. Compstat, when properly executed, sends a message to the criminal element that you are in charge of change, where the demands for law enforcement reform does not compromise legal, moral, and yes, even assertive approaches to ensuring safer communities. For these reasons, Compstat is your premier management system for evidence-based accountability, transparency, and resilience in law enforcement operations and administration. The foundation of Compstat is a balanced scorecard where you are not allowing ignorance of operations to be an excuse for lack of results. Instead, from attendance to manpower deployment to monitoring crime trends and officers' use of force, the balanced scorecard empowers you with an associated analysis of how and why things are happening under your command. Whether you are articulating these facts before agency executives or town hall meetings, the balanced scorecard is your journal of explanatory intelligence backed by real data and predictive analysis to drive your next steps and actions. Now, here are 4 components of Maple's time-tested approach for forward-thinking professionals just like you to implement real law enforcement reform with accountability, transparency, and resilience. The first component is timely and accurate intelligence. As stated earlier, what you measure is what you get. Using a balanced scorecard, you will be able to gather, analyze, and disseminate strategic intelligence plans to the right people and at the right time. Timely and accurate intelligence also depends upon the quality of information and agency priorities to determine your crime-fighting strategies. The second component is the rapid deployment of manpower and resources. Backed by timely and accurate intelligence, rapid deployment is not eventual or when it's going to easily fit into someone's schedule. Instead, rapid deployment is swift and decisive actions and with the right resources to address trends with long-term impact. Rapid deployment can be best characterized by the Navy SEALs who operate with accurate intelligence to stay ahead of the threat of any global threat and on a moment's notice. The third component is effective tactics. Today, effective tactics are more than just rounding up and zip cuffing every suspect and overcrowding the county jail with poorly prepared criminal cases. Before you deploy manpower, your research of case law, applicable statutes, and constitutional amendments will qualify that every case can be prosecuted beyond a reasonable doubt. Effective tactics might also include community policing strategies to engage citizens in information sharing. Without this calculated approach to procedural justice and community relations, your rapid response and tactics could not only equate to a comedy of errors, but also costly and perhaps manufactured civil litigation by actors of hybrid crime who are watching to counteract your effectiveness. And the fourth component is relentless follow-up. While Compstat does place a higher premium and accountability on transparency in the people that you lead, in reality, it's a reflection of your competent character among other division heads to share and justify strategies at the control meeting. The control meeting is where you should expect robust inquiries about the people, programs, and processes that you manage. And while the control meeting should be an objective forum, unfortunately, some agencies have turned the control meeting into a forum of humiliation and bullying. However, because you chose to be in charge of change, regardless to the objectivity or subjectivity of your control meeting, your relentless follow-up prepares you with resilience to stand at that podium to answer questions from agency executives, community members, and elected and appointed officials. You'll have qualified responses to include accurate presentations from the balanced scorecard, video and photographs of trends and responses, and charts and graphs of progress. One of the best illustrations of Compstat can be seen in my all-time favorite cop show from the HBO series The Wire. While the confrontational style was dramatically scripted to fit television, it does depict the overall portrayal of how Compstat is for a new generation of leaders to be in control of the facts about day-to-day operations. This Learn and Lead tutorial on real criminal justice reform has provided you with thought leadership to align learning objectives to real-world performance. Please download the free handout for this tutorial at Criminal Justice Learning Online. You can also download the digital manual, Compstat Analytics, on Apple Books, or enroll in the accredited webinar to earn a certificate for 3 hours of Georgia Post credit, or as reciprocated by your state's Law Enforcement Certification Council. Thank you again for watching our channel. You can follow me on Instagram at Instructor Rambo, Facebook at Criminal Justice Learning Online, or Charles Rambo at LinkedIn. But if you were so inspired by this insight, please feel free to send us a financial gift of any amount to my Cash App at $Instructor Rambo. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel, dedicated to empowering a new generation of criminal justice leaders just like you to engage real criminal justice reform with real accountability, transparency, and resilience.